Hey everyone, it's me again. I can't believe it's another month, 4 weeks. So welcome to number 5. And today it is all about creativity. So imagine, as you can see, I am not in my office. So this is a bit of a creative moment for me as well. Imagine you've had a long week and you just came back from the gym and you've been to sauna and you are super exhausted. And the last thing you want to do is Facebook Live. But here we are. It has been scheduled. It's every second Friday at 7 p.m. So here I am doing it. And yes, I'm not in my office, but I didn't want to cancel it. So welcome. If you are watching live, please let me know where you are watching from. And if you are watching a recording, you can always, comment later. So today it is all about creativity in English language learning. I did a little post today about Charles Dickens that he walked daily 20 miles. And I asked, why did you think he did it? And I will tell you a bit later. So creativity is a big thing. It's an amazing, fascinating phenomenon. And there are actually 125 definitions of creativity. So it's crazy. And I think we all agree that it is a very important skill in the 21st century. So when you think about big achievements, for example, in art or in history, that's probably what you think is creativity. The paintings and inventions. And this kind of creativity is called big C creativity. And maybe when you think about it, you feel, that's far from me. I am not creative. I do not have this talent or this gift. But I need to tell you about the little c creativity. And that's something we do in our everyday life. So it's, for example, when you cook leftovers, or when you arrange flowers, or when you think about problems and solutions, or how you describe things. This kind of creativity is generally described as thinking out of the box. And then you think, and this is what we need in our lives. So coming up with new ideas, novel, original ideas, thinking of solutions to problems. And also when we speak the language, when you learn to speak English, this is something you need. Why? Because creativity leads to motivation, self-confidence, and self-awareness. So it is a really important skill to have. And it's not, I think you can let me know in the comments, but I think we all struggle with creativity. From my experience, when I teach and I ask students to write an essay or do a talk, something they have to use their own ideas, they always struggle. So yes, I know we all struggle with this, but there are some tips and some strategies that we can use to help us be more creative. And I will tell you about this later. So I have a question now for you, and I would like to ask you, So we know that creativity is all about these new, original, novel ideas. Where do you get these ideas from? Where do you get these new, novel, original ideas from? Or maybe how? So if you can let me know, or if you are watching a recording, then yeah, always use the comments. I would like to know. So where do you get these ideas from? When I did the post earlier today, I said that Charles Dickens walked 20 miles per day. And Einstein, I believe it was him, he played the violin. And it was then when they came up with ideas. So do you think you come up with ideas when you sit behind the computer? Or when you think about them and you are stressed out because you cannot think of anything? What do you think? The answer is no. Because you need to give your mind a rest. Your mind is most creative, for example, when you walk, when you go out for a walk. That's why Dickens walked so many miles, because then his mind was clear and he got all these amazing ideas for his books. And Einstein, when he played the violin. So this is what we need to do. Sometimes we think we have to focus. And when I wrote my book, it was exactly the same thing. I felt so stuck so many times and frustrated. What do? You go out, I go for a walk or for a run or to the gym or exercise, or you swim, or you just daydream. And that's where these ideas can come from. So that's one thing. That's really interesting, isn't it? That, yeah, when you think about it. So give your mind a rest, and it's then when you get these ideas. So that was what I wanted to tell you. And when we learn English, when we learn the language, of course you have to be creative. So creativity is also linguistic, and language in its nature is creative. So when we talk about linguistic creativity, what do I mean by this? When you speak, language is flexible, and there are so many ways you can say what you want to say. There isn't just one way. So you have to be creative and say what you want to say, but in your own way. And this is what we are trying to do with creativity in English language learning. So the way you tell a story, for example, the teacher gives you something to do and they ask you to do a story. And this is how creative you are. So the way you tell a story, the way you express yourself, you formulate your sentence. This is all about linguistic creativity. And there are some tips, and I'm going to give you some tips you can use to improve and to develop this linguistic creativity. So that's that. So the tips. Number 1, or maybe you can let me know, is there anything when you feel stuck, when you don't know what to say, how to say it, or if you have to write an essay, how do you break this cycle? How do you get unstuck? You can always let me know. So I'll give you 3 tips. Number 3 is a good number. Number 1, you feel unstuck. You don't feel you have ideas. You are not happy with your ideas. You don't know what to write about. Brainstorming. Brainstorm. Just sit down and start brainstorming or mind mapping. Write every single idea that comes into your head. Even if it's silly, even if it's like, just write everything down. that helps. Before you start writing, brainstorm. Do not write cold. Before you start speaking, pause. Okay, so brainstorming is a really good tip. And the more you do it, the more you will see that it helps. Now, the second tip is really interesting. And, well, I don't think I heard this before. It's similar to brainstorming, but it's called brain walking. I don't know if you've heard this. You can let me know. And it's about same concept, but when you walk. And this is something really interesting when you think about our bodies. And as I said about Charles Dickens, he walked. So something happens when you move your body and your mind relaxes. So the second tip is brain walking. When you go for a walk, when you go for a run, just you get all these ideas. Now the problem is, how do you remember them? And it happens to me as well. I go, I have an amazing idea. And then by the time I get home, it's gone. Phone. Use your phone. You have notes, or record yourself, or write it on a piece of paper if you have a piece of paper. So brain walking is the third tip. And the third one is a really interesting one. Cherish the company of creative people. Be around creative people. So if you know people who are creative, just stay close to them, make friends. There are so many people, even in my class, my students, so creative in their own special way. Socialize, ask questions. It's good for your English, and also it helps you develop creativity. And another thing is that read books. You get so many ideas from books, and it helps your language and also your creativity. So I think that's all what I wanted to tell you today. I hope you have found it interesting and useful. Please let me know in the comments below whether you feel you are creative or you have problems with it, or the tips I have given you think they may help you. I would really like to know. And as you know, I like quotes, so I would like to leave you with a very nice and encouraging quote. And it goes, linguistic creativity is not simply a property or ability skill of exceptional people, but it is an exceptional property or ability skill of all people. So if you feel you are not creative, I hope you will change your mind and you will work on it. Have a lovely Friday evening, have a lovely weekend and the weeks ahead, and I will see you again in a month's time. Thank you for watching. Bye.